So I was wrong about AI agents, and here's what's changed. About 6 months ago, if you asked me about AI agents, I would have told you they were overhyped. I'd used them, I tested them, and every single time the same thing happened. Impressive demo, disappointing reality. They'd hallucinate, they'd lose context halfway through a task, or just do something completely different that a Zapier automation would have just totally nailed. So I went all in on workflows, n8n, make, Zapier, just connect A to B, define the rules, let it run. It's predictable, reliable. It was boring in absolutely the best way. That was my take, and I was right then, but wrong now. Over the last 30 days, something has completely changed. It was not a gradual change, but it was like a switch flipped. Two tools specifically crossed the line from demo to daily utility for me, Hermes and pi.dev. So these didn't just get a little bit better, these got a lot better. They got good enough to actually allow me to completely start to dismantle these workflows that I'd spent weeks and sometimes months building for myself and my clients, because agents do a better job now. Let me explain what actually changed and why I think this makes a difference to anyone running a business. Okay, first, let's be clear about what we're actually comparing. A workflow is a recipe. If this happens, do that. If an email arrives, add it to a spreadsheet, send a Slack notification. It's deterministic. It's the same input, always producing the same output. An agent is fundamentally different. An agent has context, it has memory and judgment. It doesn't just follow the rules, it interprets the actual situation and makes a decision. Now, for a long time, that judgment was the problem, because the judgment wasn't just bad, but agents would make a confident wrong decision, and a wrong decision is worse than no decision. At least when a workflow is involved, you want it to fail predictably. Okay, so what has changed? Let me start with Hermes. Hermes is a 3-layer memory system that finally makes agents feel like they know you. They don't actually know you, but it feels like they do. Okay, layer 1 is a permanent context. This is where everything the agent knows about you and your business, this is everything that's true all the time. Your company, your preferences, your tools, communication style. Layer 2 is episodic skills. So when Hermes solves a problem, it does not just solve it and forget it. It extracts the pattern and then stores it as a skill. The next time a similar situation comes up, it already knows exactly how to handle it, and this is a key difference. A workflow does the same thing. Hermes gets better over time. And then layer 3 is full conversational search. So every interaction that you have is searchable. So if you mentioned something from 3 weeks ago, an agent can pull that up for context. Okay, here's a real example. During a live event last month, a support ticket came in. It's a streaming issue. Client was kind of panicking. It's happening in front of thousands of people. My old Zapier workflow would have done what it had always done. Route the ticket, send a notification, maybe auto reply with a template, check your Wi-Fi, fine for routine stuff. But Hermes actually looked at the ticket. It pulled up the client's history. It recognized this streaming issue happened at their last event, found the resolution that worked last time, and it drafted a response with a specific fix. It flagged it for my team all before a Slack notification was even loaded into the system to be sent out. So it didn't follow the recipe, it diagnosed the solution, and that's the main difference. Okay, let's talk about pi.dev for a second. Pi.dev is a terminal-based coding agent. It has 4 core tools to it. It has infinite extensions, and it was created by Armin Ronacher. I'm saying that correctly. I think it's Ronacher. What makes pi.dev special isn't the AI part, it's actually the architecture. It's open, it's hackable, it's extensible. You can build custom skills and plugins to make it do literally anything. I fully customized mine and built extensions from my workflows and connected it to my task manager. I've even built a custom Mac app that actually watches my screen to feed context directly into pi.dev automatically, all local, all private, completely offline. What this means in practice, I'm sitting down to work and pi.dev already knows what I worked on yesterday, what's on my to-do list, and what deadlines are coming up, because my Mac app is feeding that context in real time. When I start coding, it doesn't just autocomplete, it actually understands the picture of what I'm building and why. So when I finish a task, the task agent I use, Sansama, automatically checks it off because pi.dev saw me complete it. No workflow could ever do this. It requires understanding, not rules. Now, I want to be honest and pragmatic here about this recommendation. Agents are not magic. They're not a replacement for everything. If you have a simple, predictable task, a new row in a spreadsheet for when an email comes in, Zapier still wins. It's cheaper too. So if you want to set this up, it's simpler to set up, it's cheaper to run, and you don't need an agent for that. If you really want to, you could, but as of right now, stick with Zapier. Now, for where agents win, it's when the task is messy. It's when the edges matter. The edge cases come into play here. Choose an agent. If the context around the decision of A, B, or C matters, that's when I immediately reach for an agent. When the right action depends on the judgment, not just the rules, when the process needs to improve over time and instead of staying static, like support cases, that's when agents win. For me, it's about 70% of my work daily, the stuff that I was either doing manually or building a fragile, usually complex workflow to handle. That's what's moving over. It's been incredible. There was actually a benchmark that was published recently called TokenMix, where agents actually self-create skills and then they learn and build their own toolbox. The result for this, they actually cut task completion time down by 40% compared to agents without that capability. 40% is not marginal, that's a transformational amount of time if that's something that you're doing. Or if it's a 40% lower cost for your agent, now that you're spending tokens, not just Zapier cycles, that's a real cost savings. So here's my practical recommendation. If you are just getting started with automation, start with Zapier, start with make.com. Learn what automation feels like, build a simple workflow, get comfortable and understand the building blocks and terminology so that when it comes time to build an agent, you can ask intelligently for what you want. If you're a power user that's already built workflows, you're hitting their limits, maybe it's time to look at an agent. Pick Hermes if you want something that works out of the box, installs easily and gets smarter over time, or pick pi.dev if you're already kind of technical and you want full control. You can also pick OpenClaw as a third if you don't mind a little bit of extra setup and you want probably the most widely adopted platform with a massive community and YouTube support. I didn't include OpenClaw in this list because I'm not using it actively. I moved to Hermes and Pi, but OpenClaw is still a fantastic agent out there that you should probably look at if you're going to make a decision. So if you're somewhere in between, stay subscribed because I'm going to keep sharing exactly how I use both in my setups. I have a couple tutorials coming up that's all screen shares, getting right into the nitty-gritty of all this stuff with the real skills and recipes that you can just take, download, and steal for your own business. So the bottom line is this. I built my opinion on AI agents based on where they were 6 months ago. And now, and then I was right. And now they're ready. The tools have caught up faster than I expected, and now I'm rebuilding my and many of my clients' entire automation stack around agents instead of workflows. So if you're still on the fence, I get it, I was too, but the gap between what an agent can do and what a workflow can do is getting wider every single week. The founders who figure this out are going to have some serious advantage over their competitors. So next video, I'm testing GPT 5.5 versus Claude versus Gemini on some real business tasks. I'll probably throw in some agent harnesses as well because all these agents I mentioned actually have to get powered by an AI model. So we're going to be testing those not just by themselves, but also how do they function inside of Pi or inside of Hermes as the model that's powering the agent. So thanks for watching. I'm Cole Morgan. Let's go.